In 1513, Spanish explorer Juan Ponce de Leon embarked on a journey to the New World, sailing from Puerto Rico with 3 ships. He was searching for a mythical fountain of youth, a legendary spring that was said to have restorative powers. On April 2 of that year, he landed on the east coast of what is now Florida, becoming the first known European to set foot in the state. He named the area La Florida, which means land of flowers in Spanish. Ponce de Leon's expedition encountered resistance from the native Calusa people, and he was wounded in a skirmish with them. He ultimately abandoned his quest for the Fountain of Youth and returned to Puerto Rico. Despite this, his voyage opened the door for further Spanish exploration and colonization in the region, and Florida would eventually become a Spanish territory. In 1792, the United States government authorized the creation of the first federal prison, located in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The prison, known as the United States Penitentiary, was designed to be a model for the humane treatment of prisoners and a place for the rehabilitation of criminals. It was a departure from the harsh and inhumane conditions that were typical of many colonial prisons. The prison was initially designed to hold 250 prisoners, and it quickly became a model for other prisons throughout the country. Inmates were given work to do during their confinement, and they were also given access to religious and educational resources. The prison was in operation until 1971, and during that time it held a number of famous inmates, including Al Capone and Willie Sutton. The creation of the federal prison system marked a turning point in the way the United States approached criminal justice, and it had a lasting impact on the prison system in the country. In 1801, during the Napoleonic Wars, the British Royal Navy engaged in a naval battle against the Danish Navy at the Battle of Copenhagen. The British were seeking to neutralize the Danish fleet and prevent them from allying with the French, who were a major enemy of the British at the time. The battle was fought over 4 days, and it resulted in a British victory. The British bombarded the city of Copenhagen, causing significant damage, and the Danish commander ultimately surrendered his fleet to the British. The battle was significant because it marked a major victory for the British and solidified their dominance as a naval power. It also helped to secure British control over the seas, which was crucial for their ability to project power and maintain their global empire. The Battle of Copenhagen is often regarded as one of the most significant naval battles of the Napoleonic Wars. In 1865, during the American Civil War, Confederate President Jefferson Davis and his government fled the Confederate capital of Richmond, Virginia, as Union troops closed in. The Confederate government had been based in Richmond throughout the war, and its fall marked a major turning point in the conflict. The Union Army had been steadily advancing on Richmond, and by the spring of 1865, they had encircled the city. Davis and his government fled to Danville, Virginia, hoping to regroup and continue the fight against the Union. However, their efforts were ultimately unsuccessful, and just a few weeks later, General Robert E. Lee surrendered the Confederate Army of Northern Virginia to General Ulysses S. Grant at Appomattox Courthouse, effectively ending the war. The fall of Richmond and the flight of Davis and his government marked the beginning of the end of the Confederacy, and it remains a significant moment in American history. In 1932, Charles Lindbergh, an American aviator famous for his solo transatlantic flight in 1927, visited Nazi Germany and met with high-ranking officials, including Hermann Göring and Adolf Hitler. Lindbergh was known for his admiration of German aviation technology, and his visit was seen as a gesture of goodwill towards the Nazi regime. However, his actions caused controversy and sparked criticism in the United States and other countries, as the Nazi regime was already widely known for its persecution of Jews and other minority groups. Lindbergh's visit was seen by many as a tacit endorsement of the Nazi regime and its policies, and it damaged his reputation among many Americans. The visit was also significant in hindsight, as it foreshadowed Lindbergh's eventual support of isolationism and appeasement towards Nazi Germany in the years leading up to World War II.